Hey everyone, welcome back to Car Flash, the place where marketing buzzwords, glossy brochures, and showroom hype all get stripped away so we can look at what really matters when you're out on the road or off it. If this is your first time joining us, welcome aboard. This is the channel where every car gets broken down into what it actually offers, what it doesn't, and whether it deserves your hard-earned money. Today, we're taking a closer look at the all-new 2026 Mitsubishi Pajero Sport, a nameplate that has built its reputation on ruggedness, durability, and the ability to take you where paved roads simply stop. But times have changed. The SUV world is crowded with polished crossovers, luxury features, and technology everywhere you look. So the big question is, has the Pajero Sport kept up with the times? Or is it clinging to its old-school roots? Let's find out. Exterior. At first glance, the Pajero Sport looks like it's been through a design evolution rather than a revolution. The front end is bolder than before, carrying Mitsubishi's latest interpretation of the dynamic shield grille. It's aggressive, with thicker chrome bars framing a blacked-out honeycomb mesh that feels both modern and muscular. The headlights have slimmed down, adopting a sharper LED matrix setup with integrated daytime running lights that cut into the bumper like chisels. Below that, you'll notice a more squared-off skid plate, hinting at its off-road aspirations. The stance is tall, the hood is flatter than the outgoing version, and the wheel arches are more pronounced. If you park it next to its rivals like the Toyota Fortuner or Ford Everest, it doesn't fade into the background. It actually stands out with a design that balances toughness with just enough sleekness to make it driveway-friendly. Move to the side, and you see the SUV's proportions really come alive. The Pajero Sport is long, boxy, and upright, but not in a clumsy way. Its shoulder line runs cleanly from the headlights all the way to the rear, and the slightly raked roofline keeps it from looking like a pure brick. The 20-inch alloy wheels, depending on the trim, fill the arches nicely, and the ground clearance is sitting at a confident 220 mm. Reminds you that this is not just another mall crawler. Roof rails add utility, the mirrors are chunkier with integrated indicators, and the glass house is large, which suggests good visibility for drivers and passengers alike. Mitsubishi has also improved aerodynamics subtly, tucking in the window trim and sculpting the side skirts to manage airflow better. It's an SUV that looks ready for a long road trip but still feels perfectly at home parked in front of a hotel lobby. Swing around to the rear, and here's where Mitsubishi has toned things down a little compared to the previous Pajero Sport. If you remember, the old version had those long teardrop taillights that stretched awkwardly down the bumper, something people either loved or hated. For 2026, Mitsubishi has gone with a cleaner horizontal LED taillight design that looks more premium and less polarizing. The tailgate is squared and wide, which makes loading gear easier, and there's a nice chrome strip connecting the lights to add a bit of class. A roof spoiler and a subtle diffuser around the bumper complete the look. It's more restrained but definitely more refined, a design choice that feels like it will age better than the outgoing model. Interior. Step inside, and Mitsubishi has clearly worked hard to elevate cabin experience. The first thing you notice is how much more upscale everything feels compared to the utilitarian vibe of the older Pajero Sport. Soft touch materials dominate the dash and door cards, with contrast stitching that brings a bit of luxury into the mix. The centerpiece is a new 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster that's crisp, customizable, and far easier to read than the outgoing analog dials. Next to it sits a 12.1-inch infotainment display with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, baked-in navigation, and even some off-road telemetry features for the enthusiasts. Physical buttons and knobs still exist for the climate controls, which is a relief because no one wants to dig through a screen while bouncing down a dirt trail. The seats are wide, supportive, and depending on the trim, covered in either durable fabric or premium leather. Front seats get heating, ventilation, and memory functions, while the second row has generous legroom and reclining seat backs. The third row is still best for kids or shorter adults on shorter journeys, but Mitsubishi has managed to improve the headroom a bit thanks to a redesigned roofline. Storage spaces are plentiful, from deep cup holders to wide door bins, and there are USB-C charging ports scattered across all 3 rows. Ambient lighting adds a touch of sophistication at night, and the upgraded sound system available in higher trims does a great job filling the cabin with crisp audio. In short, it's no longer just a rugged cabin built for punishment. It's a space where you could actually enjoy long family road trips without complaints from the back seats. Now, let's talk about performance. Under the hood, the 2026 Pajero Sport offers a couple of powertrain options depending on the market. The workhorse is still the 2.4-liter turbo diesel 4-cylinder, now tuned to deliver around 204 horsepower and 450 Nm of torque. This engine pairs with an 8-speed automatic transmission, sending power to either the rear wheels or all 4, depending on your configuration. For those markets demanding petrol, there's a 2.4-liter turbocharged petrol variant producing around 225 horsepower. And rumors suggest Mitsubishi is working on a plug-in hybrid version to keep up with tightening emissions regulations. Regardless of engine, the Pajero Sport still carries its Super Select 4WD2 system, giving drivers multiple terrain modes for mud, sand, rock, and snow, along with the low-range gearbox for serious off-road work. On-road manners have improved too, with better sound insulation, smoother suspension tuning, and sharper steering response. It's still not a corner-carving SUV, but it's far more comfortable on highways than previous generations. Fuel economy sits around 12-14 km/L for the diesel, which is respectable for something this size, and towing capacity is rated up to 3,100 kilograms, so plenty for boats, trailers, or caravans. Safety has also taken a big step forward. Mitsubishi has packed the Pajero Sport with adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, blind spot monitoring, a 360-degree camera, and autonomous emergency braking. It even offers a driver attention alert system, which is a nice touch for long-distance hauls. When it comes to pricing, the 2026 Pajero Sport varies depending on where you are in the world. In most markets, it starts around $38,000 to $40,000 for the entry-level 2-wheel drive version, while fully loaded 4-wheel drive trims push closer to $55,000. That puts it right in line with key rivals like the Toyota Fortuner, Ford Everest, and Isuzu MU-X. The big draw for Mitsubishi here is that it delivers a mix of rugged reliability, modern features, and a slightly more affordable price tag compared to some of its competition, especially when you factor in the warranty and service packages Mitsubishi tends to offer. So, where does that leave us with the 2026 Mitsubishi Pajero Sport? It's no longer just rugged, bare-bones SUV built for off-road fanatics. Instead, it's matured into a well-rounded family adventure vehicle that still keeps its toughness but adds in enough modern comforts to make it appealing to a wider audience. It's not perfect. The third row is still tight, and some rivals offer smoother drivetrains or more premium interiors, but for its balance of capability, value, and reliability, it's a serious contender in the segment. If you're someone who spends more time on highways than in the wild, the Pajero Sport now feels like a much more livable choice. But if you do venture off the beaten path, it's still got the hardware to get you there and back without trauma. That wraps up our in-depth look at the 2026 Mitsubishi Pajero Sport. What do you think? Has Mitsubishi done enough to keep the Pajero Sport relevant in a competitive SUV market? Or do you think it still lags behind rivals like the Fortuner and Everest? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your take. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed the review. Subscribe to Car Flash for more honest breakdowns of the latest cars, and turn on notifications so you never miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.